guys, it's Jenny with Becoming Homesteaders. Today I will be starting all of my brassicas. I live in Ohio in zone 6A. So today I'm going to be starting my cabbages, my broccolis, my cauliflowers. So excited to get these started and ready to plant for the season. Hey guys, it is February and it is time to start brassicas here in my Ohio garden. So I think this group of vegetables is probably one of my favorites to start. And I do like starting tomatoes and peppers, but I just think brassicas I enjoy so much, probably because it's always gray and dreary out. And this is like the start to the big season. January I did do a few flowers and some onions, but this is the big crop. And we love our brassicas here, the cabbages and broccoli and cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of that good stuff. So I am going to be starting that today. In my Ohio garden, this is the time of year to start things like this, to give them enough time to mature and be ready to plant out into my garden. I try to get those out the middle of April, weather depending, and they usually go out in my garden with row covers. I do have a different variety of weighted row covers. So if I'm getting a super heavy cold night or a big bad frost, I can put my heaviest frost cover, or I have just lightweight frost covers as well. Those are very much needed here in my zone because you just never know. One morning it's 70 and sunny, and the next night it's down into the low 20s. And we've even been known to have snow and things that time of year too. So you just never know here. But today I'm going to get some seeds started, and I wanted to bring you along so that maybe if it is time for you guys, I might be able to share a tip or a trick or something valuable that you might be able to use. And really that's what this is all about, just encouraging each other and hopefully motivating everybody to start something new, try something different, and go for it, right? I have all of my supplies, but I thought I would sit down and talk a little bit first about the varieties that I will be planting and some of the supplies that I will be using. In my other videos, I did go into detail with my seed trays and things, but for you new viewers, I thought I would just go over it real quick, show you my setup that I have, and then at the end of the video, I'll take you in and show you my greenhouse too. Which it's nothing spectacular. I got it at Aldi's, but it works really good for me. Okay, sorry about the glare on my glasses, but I need them in order to see the seed packets. So I ordered some new seed this year, and I still have seed from last year. So depending on what it is, I just learned this month that seeds that you have for onions, they do not do well if you keep them for years and years and years. You do need to get brand new seed for your onions. And I learned that from the no-till gardener. If you haven't seen him, you should check him out. He has a lot of really good tips. Seems like very knowledgeable organization. And I would really love to have their no-till soil. No, what is the name of his book? I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up and link it, but I do plan on buying it. And the money just helps their organization as well. So lots of good information though from him. But I just learned that you shouldn't keep your onion seeds for more than like 2 years. The allium family doesn't like keeping them longer. I guess the seed goes bad. So that was good to know, something new that I learned. Thought I would pass it along. I did luckily just buy new seeds this year for my onions, but I'm thinking now maybe that's why my onions didn't do very well last year, because they just didn't bulb up. So this year, hopefully I have all new seed and hopefully they do so much better, but enough of my rambling. I did get a lot of new seeds. I ordered from Gurney's and I ordered from Johnny's this year. I think those are really the only ones that I have here in this pack that is new. I'm trying a new Brussels sprout, which I'm not starting today. I'll start that a little bit later because this one has a longer growing season, and I won't harvest this till probably August, September. September would be ideal. September even into the beginning of October. But this one is called Sylvia, and I'm real excited to start this one. That's from Gurney Seed. This one is a Chinese cabbage from Gurney's. It is an Emiko hybrid. So I'm real excited for that one. I really like making kimchi, so I'm hoping this guy does well. That's from Gurney's. This is just a packet that I picked up from probably the dollar store. So I'm gonna give this a try. It is just that early Golden Acre cabbage. The Golden Acre cabbage, I have a pack from Annie's too. They do so good here. I know that I should probably venture out and try some new varieties, but I've always done these two and they've always done so good for me. I kind of hate to try something new, but maybe as my garden gets bigger and I get more space, maybe I could look into doing that then. But these two are definitely keepers. So that's it for the cabbages. I do have cauliflower. I have the all the year round white cauliflower from Annie's. I did that last year. It did very good. And then I ordered a new one from Johnny's. I'm real excited for this one. It is an orange or like a yellowy orange cauliflower. So I'm real excited about this. It's clementine. So I think it is supposed to get a nice size cauliflower head as well. So I would really like to try a purple one too, but we're just gonna do these two varieties this year. Then on to my broccoli. So my favorite all-time winner for my broccoli is got to be from Gurney's. It is the sprouting broccoli, and it is a burgundy broccoli. It is purple in color, but the variety, if you're looking on Gurney to get this, it is called Hybrid Burgundy, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're anywhere in this growing zone. These guys just did amazing. I was blown away. Last year was my first year growing this one, and I was blown away with the results. So I wasn't sure because my regular heading broccoli bolted because we had a whole week of 80-degree weather. So, and I had those broccoli planted in a different area in my yard, so they were right in the blazing sun. They just got too hot and they all just bolted. But this guy, he was back in the corner garden. It is a little shadier back there in the late afternoon. So maybe that's what helped. I don't know, but he did amazing. I'll show you some pictures. The broccoli was beautiful. It was so tender. The heads, it's not like a normal heading broccoli. These are sprouting broccolis. They're beautiful, they are very tasty and super hardy in my area, so it was a win-win all around. But not only can you eat the head, but you can eat the stem. The stem is nice and tender. It's beautiful in a salad because it's that burgundy purple. Once you cook it, it does cook down into the green color, but definitely a winner for me. And I will probably be ordering more of these because I just have enough to last me for this season. So definitely a keeper for that one. I have some seeds from Annie's, but I don't know that I'm going to be planting them this year. I would like to try a new one from Johnny's. This one is called Imperial, and it is supposed to do well in our area too, here in Ohio. So I'm hoping that this one will give me those nice, big, beautiful green heads of broccoli that you're used to getting in the grocery store. So that is the other broccoli that I'll be doing. So the sprouting broccoli and the imperial broccoli. I'm also going to try shallots this year. I've never grown them. And I know that you don't normally start those the same time you start your indoor or your onions inside. So I did wait a little bit, but then after watching the no-till method guy, I'm a little nervous because he said that these are usually grown by experienced gardeners. And I mean, I've been gardening a long time, but I've never grown shallots. So I don't know. I may need to do a little more research on these before I start them. So I don't know that I'm going to be starting these today. but I will let you know if I do decide to start them and what they recommend then as far as starting them. Okay, so I thought I would just run down real quick what my supplies are for seed starting. I have done this in the past in some of my other videos, but for you new viewers, I will let you know what I'm using. I have a seed starting organic medium here in my blue bucket that I have wet down pretty good. You want it to hold its shape, but you don't want it to be super saturated. This will help when you're putting your soil into your seed trays because it holds its shape. It just plops down in there. You can push it down. Makes it easier too when you're putting your seed in, because I don't know if you've done the putting your trays full of nice fluffy seed medium and then your seed in, topping it, and everything floating because the soil is having a hard time absorbing the moisture. This just helps that problem. So I like doing it this way. I also have vermiculite then that I put on top after I have sown the seed. This helps with keeping the soil nice and moist, because when you plant, you do not want your seeds to dry out. They will not germinate then. And if they've started to germinate and they dry out, you will kill them. So that helps with keeping the moisture down, keeping the algae, that green algae that forms on the top of soil that's real wet, which you want wet soil. You don't want it super saturated, but you want it to keep it moist so your seeds can germinate, and sometimes that forms. This helps prevent that. Damping off. Damping off is where you have a nice, beautiful seedling, and then at the base where the seedling is, that stem just gets weak, it's a disease, and they flop over and you lose your entire crop. This helps to prevent that. So those are three things that the vermiculite helps, and I love using it. I've used it for the last 3 seasons now. So that's a keeper. Once your seedlings have emerged, you see green, you can start fertilizing. This is what I use. It is just an Espoma organic fertilizer. I've used it for 3 years now. I love using it. It is a water soluble fertilizer, so I just put it in my little watering can and I water everything. Nice and easy. I also have my spray bottle. We will be spraying down the top of the vermiculite so that it stays in there. Seed trays. These seed trays I got from Gardener Supply and I love them. This is the 3rd growing season. This will be the 5th planting. Yes, 5th planting in them. They are very sturdy plastic. It is not the flimsy stuff that I had in the other video with my onions. This is hard plastic, so these will last years. This is the water reservoir. Then it comes with a platform that you put down into the reservoir. It has a wicking mat. You put that on the top with the lip hanging over down into the water. This will then suck up the water and keep this mat nice and wet, but it won't keep your seedlings too wet because you don't want that either. You want to have a nice happy medium. So, and I do this once my seedlings have emerged, because really when you plant them, you have your seeds in the soil. This method really doesn't work because the roots haven't formed yet. So once your roots have formed, they can get down and soak up this moisture that's in the wicking mat. Your seedlings haven't got that far yet. So once the seedlings have emerged and start to sprout, then that's when I use this whole system. I make sure the water reservoir has water in it. I will go in and clean it every now and then, especially if the water's been sitting for a long time. I'll dump it out, put fresh water in, clean it, put it right back in. So, and then it has this nice sturdy plastic dome that you can use while your seeds are trying to germinate. But really nice setup from Gardener Supply. I'll link that below as well. Labeling. I also recommend labeling things. You might have good intentions that, oh, I'll remember what that is. But then after you have 3 or 4 different flats and you're trying to plant things, you won't remember. So I highly recommend labeling. I just use a Sharpie and some popsicle sticks at this stage. Then when I plant them out in the yard, I will use better waterproof type of labeling, but this works for me, so that's what I use. Okay, so for my seed trays, I am going to go ahead and put the reservoir that normally holds the water underneath of these just while I'm planting and before I put them on the platform as they're seedlings so that nothing makes a big mess. That's pretty much the only reason I'm doing that. But so I have all of my labels, I have my seed packets. So most of the ones that I'm planting today require 1/4 or 1/2 inch planting depth. So I have them kind of grouped out. I'm going to go ahead and fill my trays full of soil. We'll dibble a little hole according to which packet requires the 1/2 inch or the 1/4 inch, and then we'll go ahead and plant the seeds.
With your soil being a little bit moist, it makes it easier to form a little ball in your hand and just plop it right down in each cell.
Okay, trays are all ready. So I think I'm going to, because it just worked out that 3 varieties were 1/4 inch, 3 varieties were 1/2 inch. So we're just gonna group them together. So we're gonna do this flat with the 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna use my pen. Use the pen cap and just very lightly dibble a little hole in the top of my soil. Just about a 1/4 inch down. That's not very far. This tray is going to be a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to go down just a little bit deeper.
I did want to mention, while I am showing all of these really great seed companies like Johnny's and Gurney's and Annie's Heirloom, there are so many others out there. There's the Baker's Creek, that's a really good one, but you can also utilize some free seed services. Your local library may have a seed sharing portion in the library, so definitely check out your library. Get online and search to see if there are any seed sharing communities in the area that you live in. A lot of times, some of the garden centers that are there in your area might offer a seed sharing community that you could get involved in. And get online and search things. There's always ways to accumulate your own seed collection without going to the expensive seed companies or ordering like I am ordering online.
Okay, so we did the golden acres. Now we're going to do the imperial broccoli. So that's the new one from Johnny's this year. So I'm excited to try this one. It had good reviews and it's supposed to do well in my growing zone, so that's exciting. So I'm just doing 1 seed per cell. Last year I did 2 seeds, but then I end up getting rid of one, and I always feel bad doing that. So I think this year I'm just going to go with, if it doesn't sprout, I will reseed rather than wasting the seeds. Okay, this tray is done. Let's move on to the next one. So this tray, we're doing the Chinese cabbage, the yellowy orange cauliflower, and then the white cauliflower. So this one's the new one from Gurney's. There we go. Okay. Ooh, they're white. These are definitely easier to see though. Nice. Next we have the white cauliflower. The all the year round cauliflower. And last one now. Okay, now I'm just gonna go through and cover up the little hole. Okay, now we're gonna top with vermiculite.
This is just an off-brand of vermiculite that I picked up probably at Home Depot, but you can also get these items at your local gardener supply store. I really love the Espoma line. They have everything you need. They have fertilizers, they have seed starting soil, they have vermiculite, potting soil, fertilizers, all of it. So you can check that company out too. They are on Amazon, and a lot of our local gardening supply stores also carry it.
Okay, they're all topped with vermiculite. I'm going to give them a nice little drench with my water bottle. So this is going to help to keep the vermiculite down too. You'll notice when I start to spray them, it's so light and fluffy and airy that it just will blow off if you don't give it an initial wet down. I have a circulation fan in my little greenhouses, which I'll show you. They're just those little clip-on fans, but they would blow this all around if it's not moist and wet. Once you give it this initial dampening, it usually stays in place pretty good. See, you can see it moving. Or I don't know if you can see it on video, but it is moving around. Okay, that one's done. Too hard. Oh my gosh, did you see that? I just blew it all off of that one. Maybe I'm too close. Okay, looks good. But here we go. This is it. We're gonna add our humidity domes. I do put them then in my greenhouse. I do not use a heating mat. I just simply put them in the greenhouse, but the grow lights that I have, they do put off heat. So it does stay nice and warm in there. At night, it does get a little bit cooler, but they're cool season veggies anyway, so I'm not real worried about that. But yeah, I put them in the greenhouse, keep them on a timer with my grow lights, so 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I do check them quite often. So with these cells, they are bigger. The cells that I used in my last video, I did find that they were a little bit smaller, so they tend to dry out a little bit faster. So I think I said in that video, I watered like once or twice a week. With those cells, I definitely needed to go like every 2 to 3 days because they were just drying out too fast. So with the heat from the grow light and my fans, I feel like I just needed to be a little more often than I normally did. So I've never used those trays before. These ones I have, they are bigger. They're going to hold moisture better. I still will see, I'll keep you updated. Usually it's 1 to 2 times a week with these, but we'll see if I need to up that, then maybe I would do 3 times. But I'll go in with my water bottle every now and then too and just give them a squirt. I would say once every other day because you don't want them to be too wet because then that algae and stuff is going to have a better chance of forming. So, but I'll keep you updated. Here they are, all tucked in the greenhouse. There's the new tray we just did today. This is the tray that we did back in January. I did need to reseed some of my violas. They did not germinate. So there's just a few that came up, a few that did not. So we reseeded today, or no, a couple days ago I did that. Then we have some snapdragons right there. We have marigolds, dill behind that. And then there's the onions that we did. They look pretty good. Happy with those. There's my little fan that I usually have on. That works well. Up here, we have the seeds that we just started. These are the Patterson onions that I started early in the month of January. I think it was January 9th.
So those look really good. I did reseed 3 of the cells that didn't germinate, but other than that, there's 2 or 3 onions per cell. And this is a 36 seed cell tray, so looks good. Then here's the grow light for the top shelf that I use. There's the one for the bottom shelf, and I have one more. Okay, here's my other little makeshift greenhouse that I have going on. This is just one of the Aldi drop over greenhouses that you can use outside. It zips up on the sides here, but it is worked out well with this little metal tray. This is my other grow light. It is a little bit bigger than the other 2 that I have, but it's the same company. Here are 2 seed cells or seed trays that I did earlier this week. Just some more greens. So they look nice in there, don't they? They look nice and toasty. And then more on the bottom. Those are mostly flowers, I think. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you're learning something and taking things away. Hopefully getting motivated to start your own seeds. Here's a little update on my free lemon tree. So this guy was free on the side of the road. His pot is pretty ugly, but he looks pretty good. And if you look, you can see lots of new growth. I don't know if the camera will focus on that, but you can see new growth. Here's a new leaf. So that's exciting. And I think he's trying to put on lemons. Look at that. So I'll keep you up to date on his progress too. Happy Valentine's Day too. We had a great day yesterday making cookies and goodies. Look at all of that. So my girls were here and we did some Valentine preparation gifts. So we did a rose coffee syrup, we did a chocolate syrup, we did lavender syrup, and we did vanilla bean syrup. So those were for coffees. We're going to be canning those up, and then all of these beautiful treats, and we boxed them up so pretty. So hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great Valentine's Day. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you're learning stuff and getting motivated. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my video. I hope you're learning something and getting motivated. If you liked the video, remember to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Becoming Homesteaders, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.